morning everybody and welcome to the flower patch. My name's Iris Smith and I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Well guys, I hope you're having a wonderful day. The weather's starting to warm up again a little bit, but we've still got quite gusty winds. Right, I've had a request of a lovely lady, Diane. And she's asked me, I think last week or the week before, if I could do a Deco Mesh wreath. I have to think then. A Deco Mesh wreath and add some flowers and foliage. The lovely lady thought that she'd missed the video. I did reply to her this morning and state that I got it planned to do for today. So to keep a lookout for the video. I have already placed on the Chanel sticks or the pipe cleaners, and it is a 14-inch metal or wired wreath base, and it is slightly raised up, not a lot, but just slightly raised up. You can get them raised up higher than this. It has got a coating of green on it, in green like plastic, so it's not exposing the actual metal. And I've placed on this 14 in total pipe cleaners, one on either side where the bar goes down, and one in the center. I'm not sure if I need more, so I've got the rest of the Deco Mesh at the side of me, and next to Marley, who's fast asleep on my jacket. And I've done it in two either side here and then one in the center. So that's what we've got for our base. I have cut down because I'm going to do like a autumnal look, so I have chosen slightly a neutral colour with a tan colour striped Deco Mesh, which I've cut down. It is 10 inches high, and I've cut the lengths into 20 inches, and I've got 14. I've pre-cut these already. You can cut them with scissors off the roll, or use a rotary blade, which you can get from any haberdashery, or you can use your wood burning tool where it burns the edges off, but place glass underneath, guys, because you don't want to be burning your workbench or your mat or anything like that. I have got, the wood burning tool. I could have done it like that because it does sort of like, as you burn it down, it seals the ends from fraying. But I tend to rather do it with my rotary blade because it's quicker, and the wood burning tool is quite hot. So that's what we've got for our Deco Mesh. Right, now I've got quite a bit of foliage here. I've got an extra piece, a different, but they seem to be relatively the same shape foliage, so I've had to try and get different shapes involved in it as well. But first of all, I've placed some of these from a garland that I've got on picks. I've pulled them off before the video, placed them on picks in advance, and it's a mixture of colours that was on the garland. So it's sort of like you've got some that have already progressed turning into a deep red, and some are going like a orangey green. So it's like the leaves are in the changing, stage. So we've got those. Now, as I was looking through some of my smaller foliage, I spotted I've got 5 of these left. And I thought, well, they've got a bit of yellowy colour on them. That could be where you can incorporate where like it's slightly fading from the green in the centre and going into an autumnal look. I've only got one stem of this tree pine left in brown, and that's all I've got left. So I'm going to chop away at this and use it sparingly around the wreath as well. And I thought, why not? You know, there's no rules. So I'm going to incorporate some grapevine leaves, and they've also got the seeds on as well. So these are grape leaves. You can get them anywhere. So they've, you know, I've got the autumnal look from them. You can get them just in green, but I wanted to use the autumnal look. Now these are the last two I've got. I've got others on order. So I thought, well, let's use these. Seem though I've got some more coming. And again, I've got like a rich, nice deep reddy brown colour in them as well. Now these are leftovers that I placed in my bucket last year and never got them out. They were like oranges and like a yellowy mustard colour, but I did spray them with floral spray and placed a bit of a goldy shimmer on them. And these are, I think, acorn leaves, or are they oak? I always forget. But as you can see, there's a slight shimmer of like a copper colour I placed on them. Not gold, a copper colour, just to give them a bit of more of a brown touch to them for the autumn, instead of having quite the vibrant orange and everything that I had. I did like the shape of them and everything. I just, when they arrived, I didn't really care too much about the vibrant orange, so I sprayed them. And I've still got a lot more up there what I've not sprayed yet, but as I use them, I will spray as I go along. And I thought, let's add in some sage colour, what's got a little hint of brown in the, you know, leaves, on the little leaves in areas, not all over, just dotted around. And I thought, let's get a sage colour, not a bright green or, you know, a forest green. Let's get the sage. Now I did get one stem out of my shakibi leaves, but it is dark green, but I wanted to incorporate deep dark green just for that darkness, and also to let all the rest of the other foliage and everything, you know, bounce off of it. I have got out my milky white coloured seed heads as well. I thought they would, you know, with the brown stem. I have placed the odd little one on picks where I've pulled them off of the main stem at the top where you get 3 on. So I have pulled them off individually and placed a few on picks. Now I've got these, and I've got some more of these coming as well. I've got some berries with a deep red, it looks more like going on a deep red burgundy colour, berries with like a very pale, or like an orange, with orange speckles on, but yellow berries, but they're not a vibrant berry. So I thought we could maybe add some of those in. I decided just to have a bit of pale colour in our yellows. I've got out some erygnium, or thistle as you may know it, and the leaves are the same texture of that of lamb's ear, so I thought that would add a nice soft touch to quite, you know, an autumn feel. But they are a very pale lemon colour as well. And concerning our floral, through my obviously not experience and knowledge of florals, obviously you try to get florals in your arrangements that match the season or what is in at that time of the season. Well, obviously roses are an all year round flower, so with us having the lemon or berries, I've got out a few lemon roses, and these are an all year round. They are an autumnal flower as well. So I've got those out. And another autumn flower is our salvia. That is classed as, even though it's sort of like flowers like this in the late summer or summer going on to autumn, it is also classed as a summer and autumn flower. So we've got those out as well. And also this is classed as a late summer autumn flower, our Rudbeckia. So, and with it having the yellow in the colour, like a mustard colour, I thought that would sit beautiful. So I thought we need a bit of white, so let's get that in as well. So that is what we've got today, guys. And I'm not going to say I'm going to use every stem I have here. I use what I need, and then the rest will just go back in my bucket. So I'm going to bring the camera down, and we're going to start and attach our Deco Mesh. So let me get that ready. Right, there's Marley, look, fast asleep on my jacket. So let's get and bring this in. I'm going to just stand back here because it may take a lot of room as I'm doing it. So let's have it there. Oh, the beaded fern wreath that I did yesterday. I had a customer. He wanted to buy a sort of like a, well, it came in with the idea of buying just a green foliage wreath with a few bits of berries in. And he spotted that and took that instead. So that went immediately. I don't think it was up on my wall more than probably about an hour 10 minutes max. And when the customer arrived and he spotted it, and that was it, it was sold. So that's gone. So as you see, again, as I've said, I've placed in one where the bar is going down towards the outside. It's 7 bars going down, and it's 4, I don't know what you really call them, 4 rings attached to the bar. I've placed the ones on the bottom on the first 2 bars and wrapped them around the first 2 bars. The one in the center, I've gone on the 3rd and the 4th ring and attached a pipe cleaner around the 3rd and the 4th ring and placed it in the center. So all the ones in the center I pull in so I don't get them mixed up with the ones on the outside. And then obviously the outside ones are pointing naturally outwards. So there's our ring. Oh, I haven't cut a hook out for it ready. So let's get my big ball of string, which is starting, I can see, to run out, and cut some off for when we place our hook on. So I've just placed that there. So we'll get 1, and I've cut 14 strips, as I've said. It is 10-inch high up to there, and I've cut it at 20-inch long. This is what happens, it frays if you haven't got a wood burning tool, but we are going to roll that inwards so it's not on the outer side. So it naturally, when you see your Deco Mesh, turns in, and that's the way we are going to fold it as we go along. So if I just place that there so you can see. So the end bit here, I turn over twice. So now all that bit that's fraying is inside and hidden. Then I put my fingers in the center and just walk my fingers up by pinching the centerpiece. And as I get near the top, I roll this end over twice as well. 1, 2. And then I walk the rest of my fingers back up together. So you have a little bit like a dicky bow. So you turn it, you don't keep it that way, you turn it upside down. Go to your metal frame wreath, and I'm going to place it in the center. You can place it like that. I like to tend to place it inwards like this. It doesn't matter which way. Place it in between your pipe cleaners and just twist. You don't need to twist lots because you may want this to attach other things to if you're placing ribbon on top of it as well. So you can do that. And we do the same procedure on every one. Turn it over twice. Go to the center. Walk our fingers up near the top. Once you've got near the top, turn over this end piece as well twice and grab it. And I'm starting in the middle because I don't want to place them on the outside and then struggle to get them in the middle where our pipe cleaners are in the center. So I'd rather do this because I get them straight away. And then just pull it. You can fluff them out if you wish. I'm just going to do them like that until we finish. And if I need more, I've got some more that I can cut off and place if I feel there's a need for a few more added in. Again, just twist it. You don't need to twist it lots. I haven't got a Deco Mesh reel or holder that will hold it in place, so I just place my snips on the end for the weight, just so it won't roll inwards towards me while I'm moving my fingers upwards. It does tend to catch on itself. I try not to pull it because I don't want to make it, you know, all fraying at the ends and make it look worse. Oops, I've not fastened that one in. Oh, we may get disturbed today, guys. I've got a lot of orders coming, or deliveries. Oh, nearly dropped it, guys. I've tried to wait. I've had one arrive, but I've tried to wait for the others. But I just never know when they're going to come. Usually you get a time frame. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, depending on which courier it is. And again, you don't have to have the 14-inch ring. You can get them smaller. But try, you can do them on flat ones as well. It's the same procedure, but if you can get a raised one, it just tends to add a little bit more height. And, you know, I mean, you can get them bigger than mine. You can also get on the flat rings. They're very good for if you've got a screen in front of your door, but yet you'd still like a wreath, and do a flat wreath. Right, so that is all the ones in the centre now complete. So as you can see, it looks quite full. And so now we move on to the outer side. And again, we're just doing the same thing all the way on the inside as well as the outside. So now, as you can see, I'm moving on to the outside of our wreath base, and I'm placing these in the same position as the ones on top or in the center. That one's caught on something. Can't see where it's. There we have it. So that's there. Oh my gosh, it's sticking to my clothes. And with it naturally bending inwards, that does help you to turn it over at the top. Oh my goodness, it's got like little spikes down the side here. It's not actually smooth, so it's the little spikes that keep catching. I can't remember where I got this Deco Mesh from. I've had it since last year, but I'm sure you can get it from, you know, anywhere or something very similar. I do tend to like the plain ones myself, but I just took a fancy to this when I spotted it. You can add a sign on this as well if you'd rather have a sign. I don't do many things with signs. I've got signs, but I really don't do many. My friend Colette does quite a lot with signs and attachments. I think I'm more of a, I don't know, do you call it old-fashioned or traditional? It's just some, you know, some people just rather not use signs or attachments. It's not that I wouldn't use them. I have used them, you know, especially when I first started doing the YouTube videos. You would see quite a few videos with signs. And, you know, Christmas with attachments like snowmen or Santa. I see a lot of wreaths with attachments. Not everybody likes them. So, you know, if somebody asked for one, then I would do it. And I have done it. But sometimes people just, you know, they'd rather stick to just floral and foliage, and they don't want, you know, the attachments added in. That's okay. Everybody's got their own taste. Oops, there's a big thread there. I'm going to pull that out. Oh, I can't. Oh, that sounds silly of me. So let me just stretch it back out. And I'm going to cut this end bit. It's a little bit too frayed for my liking. I'm just going to cut the little bit off. It is quite a, it's got like, in the centre, it's got like string in it. It's having to cut through the string. I don't like that. Oops, it's left. Well, it didn't do that earlier. Right. Oh, I think a delivery is here. I've just heard something. A truck. Yeah, I have. One moment, guys. Sorry about this. Sorry about that, everybody. That's my second delivery. Right, the last one. He woke Marley up. And then my son's just popped in. Asked me if I'd like a nice cup of coffee. And of course, guys, I'm not going to say no. So again, fold it over twice. Walk your hands up through the centre, gathering it in your fingers as you go up. And then as you see, it naturally wants to go over. So that helps you to twist the end over. 1, 2, and then walk the rest of your fingers up to the top to gather it. So we've got one more space here. Just place it in there. Twist. And then all I'm going to do is just, concerning the fluffing it up, there's not really much you need to do to fluff it up, but just get the sides like here, just spread them open a little bit and move them if you can see a little gap into that, so it's covering that little piece, that little space up. But if you feel you want to add another one in or two, because you feel the gap is too wide and you can't really quite cover it, then that's okay. It's like I've got one here, look. I don't feel like it's covering it too well, so I can easily pop in another one. So I think we may do that. Let me just get my pipe cleaner. I buy these on rolls, guys. You get more on a roll than you would if you bought them separate, but you know, that's just what everybody chooses to do at the time. Thanks. Do you want to take Marley? So then I'm going to get this, go and put it on the bottom in the centre. And I'm going to thread it through the bottom two, twist it on. So let's just place that aside, get my Deco Mesh, measure, and what I do, I place it on my mat, put my snips on because of the weight, it holds it in place, go to 20 inch, which is here, and I know it's there instead of having to keep looking at the 20 because of all these round circles, that guides me to the 20 inch. So I just follow that down. Oops. I don't pull on it tight, I let it sit loose. Now I have to go a couple of times over this because again it's got like string where the white, it looks, these lighter colours, that is actually very fine like twine. I can't, and I don't want to pull on it. So that is that one. And I just do the same process again. Fold it over twice. Walk my hands up through the centre. One, two, and go to the top. So I hope, let's find where I placed the other. Here it is. And just sit that in and twist your Chanel or your pipe cleaner around it. So I've covered now that space, so I'm going to just look around and see if I need any more. You can actually push them across. No, that one's okay. Again, just move them so they sit correctly. Oopsie daisy. Now I think there's one here as well. There's one there, as you can see, there's a bigger gap there as well. So I'm going to place another one there, and then that should be it. So then we would have used 16 instead of 14. But that doesn't matter, you know, it's as long as you're happy. You don't have to add more, but as long as you're happy with how it's looks by adding in the amount that you do. Usually a Deco Mesh roll, you can get about 18 strips. So I'd probably be able to get another 2 out of this. Oh, I haven't cut this, have I? That's silly of me. We won't be able to attach it, guys, if I don't place one of these in. Where did I find it? There. Again, place it through the bottom. When I say the bottom two, these first two, so that's number 1 and 2. So I'll place it under number 1 and 2. And then I just twist it onto that bar so it holds it in place. And then we will add this one in as well. So there we have that one. Just fluff that one out as well. So again, I'm going to look, right, I've got another one. So I'm going to actually, because you can get 80, I don't know, I'm not going to put more in. I'm just going to fill in where I need. I should have cut this many to start with. But, you know, at least I can show you how, you know, it's done. This is me pre-doing it. So for, you know, like Diane, I can show her. So we'll do one more. I think I'm going to cut that end bit there, guys, because that's quite fraying a lot and I don't like that. So if you see that and you're not going to be using the whole roll, it doesn't, you know, mind. It doesn't matter if you cut off the frayer bits at the end. Again, if you had a wood burning tool, that would scorch the end and that would stop it from actually fraying. Again, I don't pull it like that because you will misshape it and you don't want it to be like, you know, at an angle because you've pulled it at one end or shorter than any others. Right, that should be enough. just get that Deco Mesh out the way. 1, 2, walk your fingers through the centre, gathering the Deco Mesh in your thumb and finger here. And then walk it up to collect the end. So now this can go here. And again, you know, even though you've placed your, I'm a true believer, if you've placed, you know, your pipe cleaners on, like I did at the beginning, but yet you still, once you've placed all your Deco Mesh on, if it's some of it's leaving a few gaps, even though you're trying to meet it together, but yet it's still leaving a bit too much of a gap, then there's nothing wrong in adding an extra piece of Deco Mesh. Right, so that's the Deco Mesh added. Now, if you're adding ribbons, I don't think, do I have a piece in here? I'm sure I had a odd piece. Perhaps, oh, I've got some oddments here. If you're adding some ribbons in it as well, and you're cutting strips out, perhaps down to that length there, then your pipe cleaners are there to basically place in your ribbons as well. And you, once you place in your ribbons, you twist those on as well. Now, I'm not placing ribbons on this one. I could have, but I thought, no, I'd rather just, I suppose, be plain Jane and just leave it looking slightly more natural again. It's not that I don't like ribbons. I do love ribbons. I'm a fanatic about ribbons. If I can find any what's, you know I can get over here what's really, really pretty, I do tend to order them. Right, so because I'm not adding ribbons in, now my pipe cleaners I will cut. And I'm not going to cut them so I cut through where I've twisted. I'm going to cut about, if I show you here, I've twisted it, so I'm going to cut about 1 centimetre above it. So I'm still leaving a little bit on there, and then I'm just going to press that down so it's not sticking up. So you go around and you do that. Again, if you don't want any ribbon or anything else in on top of your Deco Mesh, you go around and do that all around your wreath. Because you don't really want to be seeing your pipe cleaners sticking up through your floral. If you want, you can twist them around, keep twisting them around the frame. I don't do that because that's personally, because that just takes longer. I'd rather cut the longer pieces down and bend over the little bit that I've left. I'm just twisting again to make sure it's tight, basically checking it before I cut the pipe cleaner. As you can see, we don't want it to come undone, so I'm making sure it's extra tight. but everybody has their own way of doing it. This is just the way that I do it. Can't get that one. And over, and it makes it look, you know, then your pipe cleaners are hidden, because you will then start attaching your florals and your foliage. I know some people say you don't need to twist them the pipe cleaners more than twice. I'm one for liking to keep them, you know, twist them as many times as I can to keep them held in your Deco Mesh. But that's just me, guys. If you twist them twice and they hold in, fabulous. But I've always been taught by my mother, you know, extra security is good. You know, when I was younger, in things that I did. Nearly finished now. It's just joined in with that one, so the last one, I think I can see, as of yet anyway. If I've missed any, I'm sure we'll come across them. Let's just so that is now our lovely wreath with our Deco Mesh on, looking really pretty, lovely colour, nice and natural. And there's all your pipe cleaners on the back. Now once you've finished, you can cover those if you wish to cover those with either, you know, big foliage leaf, you know, big leaves, or felt, or anything like that. Oh, let me just grab my coffee, guys. Right, so now we're going to start, I think, with, I don't know, maybe not those. So I've got those, but I don't know whether I'm going to place those in. I'm going to place in some of our maple. Is it maple? Oh yeah, it looks like it. So, sorry about the noise, guys. There's somebody outside or wherever revving up their motorbike. Right, so now what for Diane I'm going to do, I will cut these short, the stems, and I will stick these on to where the pipe cleaners are. And that is what I do to start with. And as you go further along, then you can start sticking your floral and foliage onto each or onto other stems that you've placed in. But I will place it here, and I will just place it on where the pipe cleaner is. Now, if you want and you've left your pipe cleaners long, you can attach the pipe cleaner around the stem, but just place that one on. And then I'm going to miss one and then come here as well. And do the same. I'm just missing one of the pipe cleaners, you know, the Deco Mesh, and then placing it onto the next. So miss one, and then here. You can even squeeze the, if you can, the stem underneath, you know, or inside the pipe cleaner, you know, going inside through it. This one here. So we've gone around now with the dark coloured ones. So now I'm going to bring in the light coloured. And I'm going to do the same thing. So if I just cut several down, some are longer than others, so I may bring the longer ones on the inside. So let's have the long ones on the inside. That's 2. Let's have all the rest. I've got an orange one here. I don't know about that one. So let's just cut these down. I've also got a couple of red ones left, 2 or 3 red ones left over. And I'm cutting these all down because you don't need them to be going through the opposite side. So here we go again. So I'm bringing these up above or just slightly above it. Again, you can just incorporate them and mix them in. And I'm going in between the ones that I've already done. It doesn't matter if I've got the same colour. I'm going to give it that autumn look. Do that. I could still start, you know, bringing in some more. So let's get one. I can just part that off of it. Place that. Bring that there. I think I may. Again, I'm just gluing these and going through the pipe cleaner with it. That's all I'm doing at the moment. Now we've got some of the longer ones. I could easily bring those on the outside actually. I've got 4, so I could bring one like northeast, south, west. So I'll bring one here to start with. I think let's just cut it so it's a little bit longer, the stem, because I want it just to stick out slightly. So that's one. So with these being, you know, I'm gluing these inside of the pipe cleaner. That will hold those in place beautifully. Oh, I'm going to turn it around and bring it opposite the one there. And as you pop it through, let it just hang. Let's get rid of that glue string that's attached to it. So we've used all of those and we've added those in, which already against this Deco Mesh looks really, really pretty and gives off that lovely colour, that autumn shade. Now I want to add in some of the brown. So again, with this, I haven't got much. This is all I've got. So I'm going to have some bigger ones, and because there's 2 on the bottom, I'm going to cut smaller ones, and then I'm going to part them because they do come with the big and the 2 small leaves on one sprig. So I'm going to cut those in half and separate. I think I've got another knock on the door. Oh my giddy aunt, guys, so sorry. Well, I heard a knock on the door. I went out, nobody was there. How strange. Unless my son answered it. So I'm separating the longer ones from the shorter ones. So that's that one used. so we get more out of it. Let's bring back our wreath. Now the longer ones, I'm going to go around the edge. Let's just move the smaller ones a moment. I'm just going to place, again, I'm pushing the stem through the centre of the pipe cleaner. And this is just to start with. I won't be doing it all the way around. You know, I will be eventually, as we go along, sticking the stems onto other stems that are already placed in. So there we have the larger ones on the outside. So the smaller ones, let's bring up above. And this one. There. And as you may see, I'm placing them in between the larger ones that are on the outside. So then I create that triangle shape with them. Just cut that one, we don't want it that long. And there we have the dark brown. Doesn't that look pretty with the, you know, the contrast against the reddy orange and green leaves, and then you have your dark brown, all against this natural coloured Deco Mesh. And now, I mean, when we start getting in the berries and the floral, they will look superb. I don't know whether I want to add those. No. I want in, now I've placed a few of these on picks. I thought if I put single ones on picks, I don't want the whole stem, because there was about 5 on each stem. And with it being like the sagey colour, again, it fits in perfect with the tones. I can't get them out. Let's just get those out to start with. And they fit lovely as well with the different shape. Now I want to be bringing some of these on the outside. So we're going to start on the outside first, and then we will work our way in. And I will place a few on the inside as well, because I do like to, as you all know, whatever I have either here, I place, even if it's not as many, around the side, or whatever I have on the side, I will place in the center, just so then it balances out your arrangement, and it also gives it that flow. Let me just take those off. So let's see how long I'd like them. No, not that long. They're going to have to be shorter. Let's check with that one. Yeah. Right, so let's cut them all back down to that size. What I've just cut. You know, guys, I tried to sharpen my snips the other day. My son bought me a proper sharpener to sharpen your snips. They seem to be worse. Seem to struggle now to, like I'm doing now, to cut. He says it saves it instead of buying new ones, Mum. It will, because he got them from his workplace. He says they will save you on pennies, on money. Bless him, he's so kind. Right, I'm going to go around again, and I'm going to be placing these all the way around, just so we've got our wispy bits around the side. You know me, guys, I like things sticking out from the side. And I'm going to place in more, quite a, you know, around. Cord of those. Oh, I can see glue string. Let's just remove it. Let's just make sure the leaf is up the correct way, because these have got a top and a bottom. And you have to push that a little bit more. Because once you start placing things in through the pipe cleaners and it's got glue on, you won't always be able to pop some more through the pipe cleaners because the glue has set inside. So please, you know, just be aware of that. It's not that you're doing anything wrong or you can't get it in. It's just the glue has already set. So it may be slightly restricting you from placing any more in. So we've got those. So now I'm going to bring some on the inside. Let's get a few for the inside. How many have I got? 4. Let's get 5. And I'm going to cut these short. I don't need them as long. See, they're not snipping. I'll probably end up purchasing some new snips. So I'm going to placing, now I'm gluing these onto other stems as well. I'm starting to do that. You can, even if you wish, pop some of your stems into your Deco Mesh. I try to not do that as much. I prefer to, you know, I do it. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I try to just basically attach them to other stems, but sometimes by placing just a bit of it through the Deco Mesh, it gives it that support and that, you know, and holds it in place. So that's not a bad thing. I can just find where I'm going to. No, I don't want it there. So I'm going to go. So I'm going to pop this one through a bit of the Deco Mesh. And just bend the stem a little. Now I'm going to move it here. Let me just look at that one. I don't feel that's gone in very well. So there we have it. I'm going to bring that one there. I'll bring this one here. And there we have with our lovely fern in. I don't need any more fern. I don't want to, you know, put too much of one thing in. Now I don't think, guys, I'm going to be placing these in. I really don't. I will keep them there. Now I have our grape leaves. Now let me just chop away at this a moment and cut the sprigs off. You're going to get 3 stems on one bunch or one main stem. There's only 3. I'll save that in case I may need it for something. And if you want, and you want it really minimalistic, you could stop here and just have it really minimalistic like that. It still looks pretty. So now I've got the grape, and you can see with the red, and they've got the little seeds. If I take the glue off them, the seeds are sort of like red and green, just like the leaves. So I've got glue on them. You could place those in as a full like that, or chop them. Me being me, guys, I may place the odd one around the side where it's longer, but I don't need the bottom one, so I'm going to cut that off. So that piece can go around the side, and I'll do the same with this. That can go around the side, so I'll hold back with that. I don't need the bottom one on that either. And then that one can go around the side. And I'll take another one. I'll put that one around the side. So I'm going to do it and place these around the sides. And the thing with these is some leaves are facing the opposite way and some are not. There's nothing you can do about that. You can't twist them because they're joined onto this one here. You can't, and the stem on the leaf isn't wired, so you can't manipulate it. So I just bend the little stem itself, give it a bit of movement. And I'm going to attach that one like so. Now these I'm sticking in the Deco Mesh. Have I just dropped those on the floor? Naughty me. I'll go and pick those up in a moment. So let me just go and grab those. Just going to place these two leaves that I've pulled off on picks. Was it two? Yes. I don't think I'm going to need another one, because I'm not wanting to cover all of the Deco Mesh. I do want to have that on show as well. So it's not that I'm trying to hide the Deco Mesh. If you wish, you can, you know, again, it's each to their own. I'm not planning on doing that. I want to still see the Deco Mesh, so I'm not thinking I must cover it all, because it's, you know, it's a nice pretty Deco Mesh. It looks lovely with the rest of what we're doing, you know, the foliage and everything. So I want it to blend in really pretty, so, you know, make it look really nice. And I'm just bringing these inwards as well. Again, move them around, you place them different directions. Let's just take that off. And then that one too. And there we have our grape leaves in. And again, doesn't that look pretty? Even just with the foliage. So I'm going to hang back a little bit with the shakibi. I think I'm going to use that at the end for like filler. We've got our berries. I'm going to use those after near the end as well. What I want to do is start and get in our floral. So with our roses, doesn't that give off a wonderful effect? Oh, I just love flowers. I always say, guys, once you're placing your floral, your foliage, you may think, oh gosh, it doesn't look really that much. I've been there. I've said it many times to myself. Oh, that doesn't look right. But trust your process. You know, go along and carry on placing things in. And honestly, you will be pleasantly surprised once you start adding in your floral how pretty it is turning out to be. Because I always used to say that to myself, oh gosh, that doesn't look too good. It looks a bit, oh, what do I need to place in? Especially when I was a beginner. And I just was taught, keep going, just keep going, trust what you're doing. And that's by my tutor, my mentor years and years ago. And I did. As much as some, you know, I didn't like admitting that she was right. When I was young, I was a bit stubborn. You know, when they're younger, you think, oh, I know what I'm doing. And but no, she was definitely right, guys. Trust it. And I just went with it, and oh, goodness me. What a wonderful mentor. I'm placing these around on the top because the thistles or the erinium I'm going to place around the sides with them being yellow as well. I'm only going to place 5 in, even though for some reason I've got 6 out. But I just want to place in 5. If I can get this one in. No, that's not going in. So let me cut it a little bit shorter. If something's not going in, I don't force it in, guys. I don't struggle and force it in. If it doesn't go in, then it's telling me it just can't go in. Something's blocking it, so I need, or something's in the way, so I need to reposition it. So I don't force it and force it. You know, that's not what I do. And we want one more here. So we'll place that one on the floor. Doesn't it look pretty with the yellow roses? Do I feel that's safe? No. So I'm going to do the same again. I'm not going to force it in. Look how realistic they look. How the petals fold over at the tips. And that, you know, oh, they're just so pretty. So I'm going to go through the Deco Mesh on that one. And there we have it. I'm going to let that leaf lean on it and make it look more natural. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? And I haven't come out of my Deco Mesh on the back. They've all stayed in place. There's nothing sticking out. And look how beautiful. So with the thistle, again, I'm going to place these on the outside. I'm going to put them in as a cluster. I'm going to see, I can't remember with these, if I can pull them off individually. Yes. So I'm going to pull them off. 2, 3, 5, 6. You get 7 on one stem. So let's start with the 7 first. So I'm going to put them on picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's get these on picks. Wipe off any glue. Look at those. Oh, I love this. I'll probably, when I do something and I really, really do love it, I tend to want it for myself. Do you do that, guys? And you think, oh, that would look lovely on my door in autumn. And also sometimes when I do make something and it's up for sale and I love it as well, if it doesn't get sold, sometimes I am happy that it doesn't get sold, because then I think, yes, now it can go on my door. That's not me being awful. That's just, it's not sold, so we may as well show it off, and why not put it on my door to show it off? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, there's one missing. Please don't say that's gone on the floor. No. Well, I could have sworn I cut 7. I dropped it on the floor behind me. Oh my good gracious me, what have I done with that? Oh well, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh well, I'll just pull another one off. If I find it, we'll place it on. Right, so now let's get these, I'll place these on the floor out of the way. Let's get our erygnium, our thistle. Some people pronounce it erygnium or geum. I've always pronounced it erygnium. I don't know if that's the correct way. I think it's my lingo how I pronounce it. Oh, I'm gonna have to get some snips, guys. I don't like these. We'll work with them though. Right, so I know I've got 5 here and I could easily go in between. I'm just gonna dot now these. Let's get that glue off the phone. And push it through. That's not safe to me. So let's go a little bit further downwards. That's better. And bring these on the outer side. I may need more, who knows? You'll see as I'm turning it around how pretty they look. I want to sort of like give them similar spacing. As you can see, look at those. Don't they look lovely? Let's get some a bit lower down. This one there. I'm going to place another one here. I may need another one there as well. Let me get another one. Just looking at if I can get some more in. Let me try and get 2 more in. I feel I've got enough room to get 2 more in. I feel I can get one in here. One there. And then also one. Oh, I've got one there. One there, one there. Right, I'm not going to put that one in. I don't want it to, because if I put it too close, then I'm going to have to, you know, bring more in and balance the look out. So we'll place that there. Put that there for now. So we've got our erygnium in around the sides, our thistle, which is also in the same colour as the roses, which makes it look really, really pretty. So now I think I took out 7 of the salvia. So let me just cut that stem down a little bit, it's too long. So what I'm going to do with the salvia, I'm going to bring that in again for movement, but I'm bringing this slightly more in the midsection from the bottom to the top. I'm going to place it a bit more in the middle section. So let me get that plastic off, guys. So I don't want it right at the bottom, and I'm going to give it movement, so I'm bringing it up at the top so we have movement also around the midsection. So it just fans out, looking really pretty. Oops, I've just put my thumb in the glue. Let's just go. Bit of a thread there, so I'm going to cut that off. Oops, I've popped that off. Now where did that, right, that's come off its stem, so let's glue that back on. Take off any of the glue that's seeping out. Oh, I've pulled it off again. Oh my goodness, I'm so naughty. Let's get the glue off the main stem and then do it again. There we have it. Now that glue's dried on the salvia, so we'll put fresh glue on that. And just going to take it around. Let's see where I can get another one. I think around here. So there we have now our salvia in, which is also giving that movement along with everything else, which looks really, really pretty. Now I've cut some of these down in advance. I think I'd got in mind I may want some around the front, on top and around the sides. So I cut a few down. I'll say a few. 6 I cut down just to be on the safe side. Now again, I want to probably place these in between the roses. So you've got like the zigzag. So this is forming your triangle and gives it that more of a balanced look above as well. So personally, I think from looking at it, that will set it off really nicely. I'm going to slightly lift the heads, not too much. I don't want them being higher than the roses. By placing it on the same height, I want it down a little bit so it looks slightly like it's round, going rounded, and bring it just slightly down and tip your flower head slightly, only a little tiny bit outwards, and then you'll then form that rounded shape of a wreath, if that makes sense. So if I just turn here, so we've got these two, so I'm going to go in here, push it through, stick it on that thistle, and then I'm going to just leave it leaning slightly at an angle outwards. Oops. And do the same on this one. And just point it outwards more than upwards. And I'm pushing this piece through the Deco Mesh because not everything I can get on to all the stems. I love Rudbeckia. We've got it in our garden. It's not obvious. It's not come up yet, so it's not. It's time. It's got the leaves started to grow out or open out, but concerning the floral, because it's an autumn flower, it's not yet popped up. So we've got the Rudbeckia in going all the way around. Doesn't that look pretty, guys? What a lovely subtle autumn wreath. Is, you know, some people like the reds, the deep rich reds, things like that. Some people prefer softer tones. This is more of a softer tone. Now, I've got, because I've placed the Rudbeckia there, I've got my seeds which I'm going to place in. Let's just cut. I don't know how many I cut and put on picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's just see, bring that brown up, give it a different texture. I need to bring some things on the inner side, so we'll bring some of these. I'll place one there, and I'll bring one there. And I'm bringing these in. I'm placing these in first just to make sure they look balanced. One there and one there. And I'm going to need some more, and then I'm going to bring one around here where the rose and the Rudbeckia is as well. If I can just place it in. I'm just going to stick it in, guys, because there's nothing I could stick it in with to hold unless I push it through. Let's get 3 more off of this one stem. And they can be placed on picks as well. Again, anything I can place on picks and I can get the most out of, I will. Because it's not really going to make anything look you know, worse by separating the flowers and not having them in as the full cluster. It's not, it's gonna, you know, it is what you design it to be. I will, you know, spread it more sparingly, or spread a few more around instead of having the bigger cluster, so it goes further. It's just something I like to do. So then I will get, and then that one around here. Again, I'm just going to pop them in around here. And somewhere around here. So we're going to have those up and around those areas. So we don't need any more. So let's get these in. I must remember where I start. So I'm going to go there. Let's get the ones in the center in first. Again, I'm doing this so I can get, you know, spread around the and balance the wreath by placing things what I have on top or down below around as well to show it all off. That one's not in properly, I can see it. Oh, I don't know, it was. I've just pulled it out. Forgot where it was placed. Probably placed it in the wrong position now. So just brought some seed. It is in the wrong position, guys. I can't have that. That would irritate me. There. So we brought those seeds in. So now let's do the same with these. Again, I'm placing these where the rose and Rudbeckia is. I think that stem's a bit long. Instead of bending the stem, I tend to cut it a little bit shorter because it is too long. I'd rather though have the stem longer to start with. And then cut it as I go along. Right. So we've gone, I perhaps could do with another one here. Even though it's not with the Rudbeckia, it's just the seams. Like I could fit another one, extra one in. I think I've left some of the, there we have it. I left some of the wire in. Or the stem, should I say, not wire. Oh my goodness, I'm going crazy. So I can't get it all out. I'll push this in. There we have it. And it sits aside. I won't let things defeat me, guys. So I feel I could get another one here. Right, so now we've got those seeds in, we are left with the berries, the shakibi, and let's see, I don't know, I think that spoils the actual design, the tones of it. So let's get, I'm placing in the shakibi last because that is going to be our filler. Now I'm going to pull these off. Oh, I've just pulled berry off instead, because you can pull these off again. I do this so I can spread things further instead of placing it in as one whole cluster. And the berries are only like foam or polystyrene, so if they come off you can just glue them back on. So that's one. Oops, there's a berry what's just fallen. Where's it gone? So we'll stick that back on whenever I find where it's gone. It's not, oh, is it that one? You can't tell. I can't tell. It's not these, because I know these was near to the end, beginning that I was pulling off. Oh, there's another berry there as well. So what I do, we'll use this one, dip it in, or use your glue gun, and then push it on top where you want it to go. And the same with this one, because they're only foam, they're easily pushed on, and then they stick immediately. So now I've got two choices with these. I could place these on picks or place them in individually or as they are without any picks on at all. So I'm considering, I don't think I want any around the sides because we've got yellow. This main design is at the top, so I'm gonna, I don't know, I'm gonna put picks on. I just want to make sure it's more secure than in case they pop off in the wind. At least I'm attaching them to something. And I'm going to cut these in half, the stem, and use the other half to put on another one, so I don't waste the pick. Oh. Oops, glued the wrong end. Sorry if it seems a bit boring watching me do this. It's just that when I have things like this, I never know, you know, well, it's not that I never know. I have an idea in my head that I may want to keep the cluster or split them up. So before I make that decision, I don't take them apart or cut them down in case I've made the wrong decision. So I leave them like I have done and then decide as I go along when it comes to actually using them. Then I decide whether I want to place them on shorter picks or take them apart excuse me or leave them as the cluster that they came as. But we've got more there now that we can play with. So what I'm going to do, incorporate some of these up here as well. Even though we've got our seeds, I need some, oops a daisy, just pointing inwards to the center, just so we'll get a bit of colour inwards and on the central area. Just trying to find and just have those going in. You don't want it to look, you know, left out and just like you've got a plain ring in the center. I'm only going to place 3 because 3 is plenty, because they are all meeting in the center and I don't want to just place a ring of them around. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. So let's get up here. We'll bring those up and I'm lifting these up slightly to give these a bit of volume so they are noticeable. I don't want them to be flat and hidden. So let's get them all lifted up. Like so. Let me just bend that one a little bit. Oops, a berry has dropped off. Where's it dropped off from? There. So before I push it any further, let's get a bit of glue and pop it back on. There we go. I'm going to have to pull that out, guys, because it would have dried and it's not going to have much to glue. It will secure itself without replacing fresh glue. So now we've got our yellow berries in. Doesn't that look really, really pretty? Very autumnal look. And again, I still want my, from the beginning, I still want my Deco Mesh scene, so I'm not covering it all up. So we will keep it on show. I'm not going to place those in, guys. They're not fitting in with the tone that I've got in already. Now, by adding a little darker coloured foliage, will bring this alive. So we're definitely going to add in that. I've got this. I'm going to just pop this in instead of just wasting it. I'm going to pop it in somewhere. Let's have a look where it won't be really seen. Let's pop it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look under here. We don't want to waste it. It's same with this. I don't really want to waste this and place it in the leftovers bucket, and there's only one. So if I can get it around the side somewhere, let's have a look. It's going to be here. I'm going to place it. Let's get it there so it's not wasted. So we're now left with our shakibi leaves, and I'm going to cut these down. I'm not having them as a full foliage on the outside. I am cutting them, chopping them into smaller pieces. Some they've got more than 2 leaves on, some have got 2 leaves. So let's get the other one and do the same with that. So we've done that. Right, so what I'm going to do with these, because I've cut them extremely short, I'm going to dot them around as our filler. So they're just going to be, I'm not going to look if any have got more, like that's got 4 leaves on. I'm not going to think, oh, well, that's got 4. I must put one with a 4 away from it or anything. I'm just going to make it look natural and dot them around, because on your trees and things like that, you get leaves with the same amount of leaves on one, you know, every throughout. So, and I'm wanting to bring some a bit further down, because as I've gone around, I've seen a few areas where I know I could just place some darker green foliage, like here, for instance. So I could easily put that there, because I can see more of the Deco Mesh than the actual any floral or anything. So I'm going to place that in there, and as you can see, just there. So I didn't really need much of this. It's just going to be dotted around this filler foliage. And I'm sticking this on to the Deco Mesh. The leaves are quite much thicker, so it's not something you, unless you force it through and make a big hole in your Deco Mesh. So I'm sticking this onto other stems or onto the Deco Mesh itself. And I will bring some up above as well. I want, you know, some, I'm going around the edge to start with, I do want some in the centre. I keep forgetting what I'm to pronounce my words. But in the centre and on top. So we're just now filling in. Place one more. Glue that to that stem. Under there. So that's all around there done. So now I'm going to cut this one down, and in the same process use it for up above. If I can get, that's one. If I need any more, I will just grab some. So we do the same. I'm going to bring and tuck it under other foliage so it's not sticking too much out and in your face. Let's get one along here as well. Place the berries with it. So we've got a little bit of green in the centre of the deep green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the other 5 now will go on top. And again, just bring some of your other foliage on top of them, because some of these leaves are quite big. So I'm sort of like placing the larger leaf ones underneath. Like that's got a really larger one on, so I try and place another piece of different foliage on top of that so it doesn't stand out and look too odd. So the big leaves there, look. So I will bring some of this foliage above it just to hide it slightly, while this one can sit within there. Now this is a different matter. It's got 2 big leaves on, so I will pull one off of one stem on a smaller the leaf one, take a small leaf off of another stem, glue it onto there and place the big one onto the opposite one, what I've just taken off. Like that. So there's a variety of sizes because I didn't want just 2 big leaves. So again, there, lift the rose up above it. That, and then one more. I'll place that one there. So guys, let me just, while it's in my head, place on my hook. I'm going to just go around like I did with the cable ties. Just cut that. So now we have finished today's project for the lovely lady Diane, who wanted a Deco Mesh wreath. Sorry if it's took long. I say it every time, I can't help it. I just love to go at a slower speed for you guys, especially when there's, you know, there's new beginners, and I want them to see everything what I'm doing, and instead of just rushing through and, you know, the new beginners missed it or got confused. And so I like to go through it and, you know, at a slower pace, because we've all been there, guys. I state that a lot. We've all been there, starters at the beginning at some point. So, you know, I just ask for a little bit of consideration for all the other lovely new beginners as well, who are just starting out. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that, you know, that's given Diane a nice idea to have lovely colours, autumnal colours in pale lemons, but also with rich red and browns and green and a slight little tinge of orange in there. And I've used, you know, some very pale lemon, erinium, some thistle, and even by adding just grape leaves as well, and then also adding in just one type of leaf that is really rich and deep, that pops it out. And again, I wanted to see still some of my Deco Mesh because of the colour as well, adds to the autumn theme. And just by getting some berries without it having green leaf on, but a deep rich red, or probably going on to a burgundy, with some very pale berries with little dots on, or like, you know, it's like splashes of dots of orange in them. And I've chosen, again, I've chosen floral, that is a autumn, you know, late summer autumnal flower. I know the roses are all year round. The Rudbeckia is, you know, starts flowering at the end of, well, midsummer onwards, but it is also classed as a summer and autumn flower. And so is the salvia. So again, also by adding a little bit of sage green in with your ferns, gives that nice look. And by adding some dusky milky white seeds in as well, adds a little bit of different texture and gives that autumnal feel to your arrangement as well. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. I'm just going to pop it on the easel. And if, you know, you don't want to do it in this sort of a colour, but you'd rather do it in rich reds, that's fine. You know, I just fancied doing something in the browny tones, and a mixture really of reds, browns, oranges. So I'll place that there. Let me tidy this up. So Diane, I hope that has helped you, my lovely. So let's just pull up the camera. Oh, it looks very pretty from here, guys. If I step back with the camera, I don't have that trouble with it sitting in position. Oh, I don't know why it's just got its own mind. I'll leave it like that, guys. Right, so sorry again for it being so long, but I did, you know, like I say, like to go through it step by step for the new beginners, and also at a slower pace as well. I don't like to rush. I don't, you know, obviously when I'm not on camera, I have got my faster speed and pace that I do things. But when I'm doing videos, I do like to keep them at a slower pace. Because I feel that, you know, by rushing things, you just don't take in all the, you know, the advice or whatever the person's saying, because they rush through it and like, oh, right, I'll place this there, I'll place this there, and there's no explanation to the people who are watching. Why are you placing it there? Hence the reason why, if you're going to teach somebody, you know, teach them the reason why things go there, teach them about it, teach them about the colour, the volume, the form, the line, you know, textures, contrast, teach them about things like that, because, you know, that will help them as they go along to create something just as beautiful for themselves, you know, and not to just stand there and just allow whoever's watching on the other side of the camera, you know, at home or wherever, and just stand there and just place things in and don't explain. You know, that's, I'm not criticizing anybody, but that's just, you know, how I work. I work where I explain, because I teach, so I teach people why things go there, the color choices, what colors will go with other colors, you know. And again, like here, you didn't have to have the yellow berries, but I brought in the yellow berries because they've got brown stems and rich deep red leaves. And I've also brought out the grape leaves as well, because they've got deep red around the tips of them. I brought out some maple where it's got different tones, browns, greens and oranges, all to do with like the warming of autumn colours. And, you know, again, if you want to find out what sort of flowers is an autumnal colour flower, have a look. I mean, calla lilies, believe it or not, are classed as autumnal colour floral as well. I was going to put some in, but then I thought, no, not today. So you can look on Google and just place in what are autumnal flowers, or a list, or place in a list of autumnal flowers, and it will come up with a list for you. It really will, guys. And salvia is also classed as an autumnal flower. So, and I've chose tones that are sitting and go lovely with the neutral Deco Mesh. It's the Deco Mesh has got creams, and it's also got very light sandy colour in it, in the stripes. So hence the reason I've added in browns, and I've also added in this rich deep brown tree pine to also give it that pop and to blend in with the colours and that sort of colours of the Deco Mesh. And by doing that and adding a few bits of browns in and, you know, tans and sandy colours and champagne colours or very pale lemons, it just brings it alive. Now you could add in red, whatever's on your leaf here. You could add in bits of red or deep burgundy. You know, you don't have to have the lemon. You could add in champagne colours, ivory colours, cream colours. You could add in, oh my goodness, there's abundance. There's oranges, deep oranges, burnt oranges. That would look lovely with the Deco Mesh as well. Anything like that. And then add in some fern, but also add in greenery, you know, the colour green. You know, you don't just want to see it all in these dark coloured foliage, you know, like the browns and deep rich reds. Add in some sage, lighter green, you know, by adding in lighter green foliage, that lifts also the dark foliage, and by also adding in dark foliage, it lifts up your flowers, as you can see. By placing this dark against the roses, it's lifted up that rose. The roses have bounced off of it, and it makes it look really exceptional. And then by placing in something, you know, like the Rudbeckia or maybe a daisy, if you really want to add in daisies as well, you know, that there's not saying no reason you can't, but just add in something like that against a lighter floral against a deep rich foliage. They compensate each other and they bounce from each other and bring your arrangement alive. And by adding different textures, like the soft textures, like your rose petals are really soft, to the like your seed heads, which are rough, and your salvia, which has got a rough texture on these ones as well. Your foliage as well, you've got the soft textured foliage, you've got the rough textured foliage. So add in the soft textures with the rough textures, and it balances each other out perfect. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Again, I know the video has probably gone over 2 hours again, but again, I wanted to show you step by step, and plus it's placing in the Deco Mesh. I could have placed it in to start with, but I wanted to show the lady Diane that how to place it in and things like that. So and you know, and do it right from scratch, right from step 1 onwards. So from step 1 to this finishing look, I think it looks rather nice. And if this doesn't sell, it's going on my door. It really is going on my door, unless I put this on my door and then I'll just have to make another one. I may do that, but I like this. So have a great day, guys. Please subscribe, share and like. To everybody you know, bring them along, show them what wonderful creations that we all do together as a family, you know, everybody across the pond, everybody here in the UK and Canada, you know, Germany. I've got some from Italy, Spain, India, all you guys from around the globe. You know, thank you so much for your wonderful comments, and keep subscribing and share to your friends. Give us a thumbs up, send us a little comment, and I'll always reply. I can't help myself. I love to chat. So have a wonderful day. Take care, guys. Good health. God bless. And I'll see you tomorrow. So bye for now. Bye-bye. So let's just have a closer look. Oh, it's 2.5 hours. I knew it had gone over 2 hours, but hey ho, guys. I'd rather it be over 2 hours and not enough, you know, for you wonderful people to see. Right, there is the wonderful, very pale lemon roses. Look how the tips of the petals bend over like they do, and they've got like veins. Look at these little veins here inside, how they would on a real rose. I think they're beautiful. And then you've got your rough textured salvia. You've got your beautiful Rudbeckia with the mustard, which goes well with the roses. And you've got obviously your Deco Mesh with the sandy colour. You've got in your maple, where it's got tones in of the green and the red on that one. And on this one, you've got the maple from the same garland, rich reds and dark greens. You probably see it better here, look. And then again on your grape, you've got this on your grape with what also has, you know, the seeds with it here, where they've got green and also red. You've got your milky white or dusky white seed heads, and your lovely rich dark brown tree pine as well, and your beautiful berries. Can you see the splashes of orange on them, and the rich deep dark petals? Aren't they beautiful? And we can't forget these. Or let me go this side, you'll see them better. Look at those lovely pale lemon thistles. Aren't they divine? And then your lovely sage green fern. And then also to pop everything off in rich dark colour, we have your deep dark salvia. Not salvia, sorry. Oops, my mistake, guys. Shakibi. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you try and give it a go, even if it's in other colours, guys, in reds or oranges or anything that, you know, comes to mind for yourself and you'd rather do it in a different colour. Have fun with it, guys. Enjoy. And I'm sure you're going to do a fabulous job. So thanks for the request, Diane. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.